Today's battle is a special one. The fight on the table today is going to be between two forces of the undead, something we've discovered can be a bit too stagnant for good filming. As such, we're introducing a few house rules to make combats a little bit more decisive and enjoyable for all of you at home. Furthermore, we've written and published in the description below a full army of infamy for the legions of Nagash. This will allow us to run Arkhan the Black and his troops in the game today, using a sort of a hybrid of the Vampire Count's army list and the Tomb King's army list. Check it out in the description down below, alongside a link to our sponsor, UK Resin Print. Now, on to the army lists. Today, James returns once more to command Settra the Imperishable and his legion. Of course, Settra is stepping up today as the Hierophant and the general for the army. We have a level 4 High Priest with Elementalism, a Necrotect with a whip and light armour, as well as a Royal Herald carrying the Banner of the Desert Winds. The core choices today are made up of a unit of 20 Tomb Guard, some Skeleton Archers, a unit of Chariots, another unit of Chariots taking up the other flank, and some Tomb Swarms. In the special units we see a pair of Tomb Scorpions before the rare choices are filled with a Casket of Souls and a Necrosphinx. On the other side of the table, we have Arkhan the Black's Dead Legion. Here, we have Arkhan the Black as the general and the Lich, which is equivalent to the Hierophant or Wizard in a Vampire Count's army. He is joined by a White King on a skeletal steed with a shield, with a Lich upgrade. This allows him to become a level 1 wizard for 35 points. Furthermore, a White Lord with a Battle Standard Bearer and the Banner of the Dead Legion, giving him double combat resolution thanks to his rank bonus, is another choice in our character selection. He also has the Lich upgrade. Finally, for our characters, we've got 2 Cairn Wraiths and a Necromantic Acolyte, who is a level 2 wizard and is carrying an item called the Staff of Ravening. In the core section, we've got 24 skeleton warriors with spears, a champion, and a standard. The standard bearer carries the standard of the cursing word. 21 zombies with a standard get ready to tar pit something, and 5 bat swarms are ready to head off into the distance and fight some of the back line. 4 skeleton chariots with a standard take up one of the flanks, while the far other flank is garrisoned by 7 black knights, with lances and barding, hell knight, and standard bearer. Finally, the army is rounded off with a unit of 20 grave guards with great weapons, a seneschal, and a standard bearer. To help the game play more smoothly, we are running the following 2 differences. First, Arise and Invocation of Nehek are now a spell, as detailed in the Legions of Nagash Armies of Infamy document in the description below. It has casting values of 6+, and 10+, with diminishing returns for the higher unit strength of the unit it targets. Second, undead that are defeated in a round of combat will crumble as normal, but then they will make a leadership check. If they pass, they'll give ground as normal and nothing further happens. However, if they pass but not when modified by the difference in the combat resolution, they will fall back in good order, just as if they were any other regular unit in the game. However, if they completely fail their leadership check, they will crumble for a second time before they then fall back in good order. We are ready to get started, so we're going to roll off the first turn. I'm going to be playing with some old Malign Portents Age of Sigmar dice, so anytime you see a skull, that's a 1. Anytime you see that Shaiish symbol, it's a 6. I think it just works out well. Symbol for Necromancy is the success, and symbol for dead is dead. So, I'm going for a 2, but I finished deploying first, so that's a 3. However, Settra brings along a 6. So, James, will you be taking the first turn?
I will not be taking the first turn.
Okay, so it will be turn 1, the Legions of Nagash. With the lesser kings defeated, Settra turned his anger towards those who had allowed Nihikara to fall so far. So we're starting off with the command phase, and it's fairly basic. We're going to be doing some Invocation of Nehek from the 2 wizards that can see the unit of zombies onto there. We will be going ahead and trying to cast a stat buff on this unit with the White King, who's got the Lich upgrade, and the same on this unit here with the White Lord, who's got the Lich upgrade. After that, There's not a whole lot going on. Arkhan the Black will be trying to get his reserve move aura by using the bounce spell within his staff, which will be pretty good. Then we'll be marching the army forwards. We're not in range to make any charges, and I don't really want to be charged. We're going to try and shield ourselves from the Necro Sphinx using our ethereal unit over here, and we're going to be doing something with our ethereal unit over there to try and give us some extra defense. So in just a second, we're going to fire some arrows from these chariots into the chariots opposite. Not expecting an awful lot there. Moved up with the Wraith, moved up with the Graveguard, flew across with the bats, moved up with the stuff here, moved up there. Arkhan couldn't get ahead without marching, which would mean he wouldn't be able to cast spells, so I'm not going to expose him. Then over here, even though we had a lot of movement available, we're just a little shy of the Necro Sphinx, and so we moved the Wraith up a tiny bit and just posturing to head that way in the future. No luck, the Doombolt was dispelled by James's Hierophant, also High Priest, and the Skeleton Chariots did cause a wound to the other Skeleton Chariots and then reserved move to move backwards, so that here we are not within charge range. With that, turn 1 of 6 is done for the Legions of Nagash, and we will hand over to Settra's host.
Katep told him of Nagash's great spell, and of the curse that had raised the dead without restoring the kingdom they had once been promised.
So first of all, I'm going to be doing My Will Be Done on Settra to try and get +1 weapon skill. I will then be trying to do the Eternal Taskmaster on the Necrotech for +1 attack, hatred, or enemies. And then we're going to try and get Light of Protection up on the Casket of Souls for the -1 to hit and the 6-up ward. Then the Priest, because he doesn't have any sort of protection, he is going to be casting Earthen Ramparts on himself. And after the movement, everyone's going to be trying to get it, pushing forward to stay out of charge range. So hopefully on my turn 2, we can get a few charges off. Hopefully there'll be a little bit of shooting as well from the chariots. So the Tomb Scorpion was able to make a charge. It was only 14 inches away. Luckily, I got a 15 with the Swift Stride. We've got Earthen Ramparts here on the Priest, so he's got extra protection. They've done their double move forward. We fired 16 shots into the Blood Knights, doing absolutely 0 damage.
Black Knights, in fact.
Black Knights.
Yeah, no vampires in this list.
And then they fired into the Skeleton Chariots and also did no damage. So the only potential output we've got is on the Tomb Scorpion being in combat.
So we might as well demonstrate the rules that we're using to help make Undead versus Undead a little bit more interesting. Maybe you'll get to use them at home and find it useful. I've lost the combat. He's done 4 wounds to me. I've done 0 to him. So I've lost the combat by 4. I will therefore crumble for 4 wounds. So 1 base goes away. The other base suffers 3 wounds, being left on 2 wounds remaining. Now I'm going to do a leadership check on that unit. Fortunately, well, they're swarms, so they can't use Arkhan's leadership. So they are leadership 3. That is a regular fail, so they're gonna crumble a second time, taking another 4 wounds. Oops. And then they will fall back in good order. So had they succeeded, had they rolled the 3, that would have caused them to succeed, but then lose by the modifier, and then they do a fallback in good order only, as opposed to right now where they're falling back in good order and crumbling that second time. This way, the combats should just be sped up a little bit and they won't be grinding on forever and ever and ever. So let's look at a fallback in good order roll. We're getting a 5 on the dice there. I'll fall back. I presume you're following up. There's no reason to get charged by Graveguard.
Yeah, I'll be following up.
And so we've got that combat now with the Graveguard and the Tomb Scorpion to carry on into the next turn.
Among those still defying Khemri was Arkhan the Black, Nagash's oldest servant, vizier, and lieutenant, ruling from the Black Tower deep within the cracked land.
So this turn is just going to be a little bit basic. We're going to try and heal up some bats. We're going to try and bring up some zombies. I think we're just going to let the Graveguard fight the Tomb Scorpion. I think that goes well for me. Skeleton Chariots, I think I've got the opportunity to declare a charge into those chariots there. I'll check it, and if we do, we'll go for it, because hopefully weight of numbers plus a few impact hits means we'll be able to get through and past that Tomb Scorpion. Over here, we're going to continue to play cautiously and continue to try to shield my Black Knights from the big monster there. So in order to achieve that, we're going to need to drill, so he can't just charge into a part of the Black Knights that's not obscured by the spirit. And the spirit's just going to be placed to sort of prevent him from being able to be placed into contact with the Black Knights. We might even just be able to make a charge with him. That looks like we might be able to, actually. I'll check that he is movement 6. I think he is. So we may even just charge him straight forwards and just tie up the Necro Sphinx completely. So that's the sort of the pre-bit of my movement phase. And then we'll continue to move forwards. We need to take control of the Black Tower of Arkhan for the 300 victory points it's worth. And we do need to engage the Tomb Kings at some stage. So in order to do that, Arkhan will be attempting to cast his reserve move Aura spell. We're going to take a look at some charges. So we're going to go ahead and declare a charge of the chariots into the chariots. So we got 8 plus 6 inches plus a swift stride of. Okay, yeah, we're in. And then on the far other end of the table, we have Wraith, who's going to try and get into the Necro Sphinx. He's got a 6 plus a 6, so 12. So he's in. And I've just noticed I've got this nearby Wraith who could maybe try and go help against the Tomb Scorpion, but I don't think it's necessary. And having done that, my shooting is going to be pretty limited. We will fire off a Doom Bolt with the Necromancer heading into these swarms. Maybe we can plink a wound onto the High Priest. I mean, I'm saying this, we actually haven't done any movement yet. So we'll do the movement and then we'll do that shooting, which I'm talking about there. I think I'd like to try and get a big Unquiet Spirits off with Arkhan. I'm just not sure where I can get that done. So we'll come back in a second. Chariots are in. We've moved up into this space over here. This fight's happening. We got line of sight through the gap over here. Zombies have moved up. Skeletons have moved up. Black Knights did a redress the ranks, move forwards 4 inches, or 3.5 inches. The Arkhan the Black, he's moved forwards. He's now got a vision through this gap for an Unquiet Spirits onto the Tomb Guard. And the weirdest rom-com in the world is happening over in this corner over here. So, in the shooting phase, it's very much as we said before, it's just firing off a couple of spells. It's been a casting phase for the ages. I cast Doom Bolt, it was perfectly dispelled. Then I perfectly cast Unquiet Spirits, and I have slain a singular
Tomb Guard.
Tomb Guard, thank you.
From 15 hits.
Yeah, 15 hits resulted in a single wound, which resulted in 2 failed Warden regen saves. Now it's into combat. We can look at this combat over here. I can try to do some wounds to you with me 2 attacks with a great weapon. One of them will hit and it will not wound. And so you can't do any wounds to me, and therefore we've got no combat res, and it is a tied combat. So 43 impact hits. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 impact hits. Strength 4 into toughness 4. That'll be 4 wounding hits. AP 0, so 4 up armor saves. 1 goes through and a 6 up regen. So another wound goes through onto one of those chariots. Then I've got my skeleton crewman, which is 2 from each chariot, so that's going to be 8 attacks. 8 attacks, 1 extra from the skeleton champion, hitting on 4s. Wounding on 4s as well because of my +1 strength. That is no wounding hits. Oh dear.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I'll throw my horses as well right now. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 5s. 3 wounding hits from the horses.
The rider is just a bonus. 1 wound, that is potentially a dead chariot. Yes.
Okay, that's actually quite a big deal. So when we get to the chariot initiative step.
2 others, so hitting on 4s.
So chariot step, hitting on 4s. 2 hits.
5s, because I didn't get the charge.
No wounds.
No damage.
4 horsemen.
Nothing.
Okay, that's fortunate for me. We've both got a banner. Having looked at that there, we have a nice little incident where I've won the combat by 2, thanks to having done 2 wounds, and all the rest of our stats are the same. So the chariots are going to crumble by 2, but then they're going to make that leadership check, which they pass perfectly, so they will give ground, and that's not what I wanted to see. So one of those chariots is down to 1 wound remaining, and they give ground 2 inches. So at the end of my turn, we've managed to make success over there. We killed the Tomb Scorpion over here without issue. I need to actually do an overrun roll over there, about there. Over here, it's all been pretty basic, and everything's holding still as it is. That's the end of Arkhan the Black's turn. Was that my turn 2? I think it was my turn 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, turn 2, because you went first.
Sweet. I've got 4 more turns left. Let's find out what Settra's doing.
Settra would suffer no servant of Nagash to hold power in Nehekara, while the King of Kings still endured.
Okay, so Settra has done My Will Be Done, and that has 6-inch range for +2 movement to try and increase the charge range. Onto this unit here, the Necrotect was able to get his Eternal Taskmaster off for +1 attack and hatred. So the plan now is to go for a long bomb charge into the Skeletal Warriors. Chariots, nothing's really affected them, so they will try and charge the Knights. Settra is going to try and charge the zombies. I'm going to see if the swarms are able to potentially charge the bats as well with the extra movement. And then the Tomb Scorpion is going to side charge the chariots. Oh, and Earthen Ramparts again on the Lich Priest to try, or High Priest to try and give him that extra protection.
I think you're saying you can't fail this one with the Tomb Scorpion, so he's going to get in.
Yep.
Then where are we going to?
We'll start with the Tomb Swarms. They are going to try and charge the bats.
They need a total of?
They got 6 on the dice. They've got 5 movement base plus the 2 from Settra. So I believe that is the Tomb Swarms in. Settra is going to charge the zombies. So that is 4 plus 9. So he might fail that.
13. Yeah, I think that was on the edge of what you needed. We'll come back and check afterwards.
We then got the Tomb Guard. So they're going to be movement 6, and they need to have a total 11. They've got 6 and a 2, so they're in. And then the chariots, they will also be charging the Black Knights.
I think my Black Knights will counter charge.
They're very in.
Okay. Well, I think they've got counter charge. If they do, they've gone 2 inches forwards. As it turns out, Black Knights do not have counter charge. I mean, charge phases always make a difference to the shape of the battlefield, but this is a very big distinction. I think I get this impression that Settra has managed to bait Arkhan the Black forwards only to charge into his lines. And I don't think this is going to go well for me, to be honest. I mean, Halberd Tomb Guard, are they?
Yes. And they've got +1 weapon skill.
Yeah, so they're just nasty. So Halberd Tomb Guard are going to be a problem.
They've also got hatred and +1 attack.
These chariots are going to be nasty, but I think it's just going to turn into a slog, to be honest. Settra's going to destroy these zombies. My hope is the zombies don't completely give way, because Settra going into Arkhan's flank would be an issue. The bats and the swarms, I think they're probably still going to be standing. I think maybe my bats will lose that. And then over here, that's just going to be another big stalemate for a long time. So, fortunately, I think the fallback in good order mechanic that we're using for the Undead is going to make sure that this doesn't just turn into the rest of the game of picking small shots at each other. But I don't think you've got any shooting now, have you?
No, because everything's in combat and can't shoot.
And out of range. So, in terms of combats...
I do have some movement, though, because I want to try and move the Casket of Souls closer for the -1 to hit aura.
Ah, okay, that's nasty. So we went ahead and recorded the Settra combat. It wasn't that interesting. Settra killed 5 zombies. The zombies didn't hit Settra at all. Because of rank bonus, outnumber, close order, banners, Settra only won the combat by 1. So the zombies crumbled a single guy. Arkhan the Black's inspiring presence meant the zombies made their leadership check on a leadership of 9, which they passed even with the 1 fail, so they gave ground 2 inches. And the play has not manifested in James's favour. In the charge phase, the standard of the cursing word, but carried by the skeletons, was used. So let's take a look at how this does. It's 3d6 hits. Oh, that's not as nice as I wanted. 7 hits. These are at strength 2, so we're looking for 6s to wound. 1 wounding hit, AP 0 onto the Tomb Guard. That was a wonderful use of 20 points.
So it'd be light armor and shield, so 5 up save. They've made it.
Would it be light armor shield? Yes, because it was shooting, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
And now we go into the fight phase. I guess you're using halberds.
Yes, I'll be using halberds. So I've got hatred for re-roll all hit rolls, and then I have the +1 attack from the Eternal Taskmaster.
Okay.
So that gives me 9 attacks, starting with the Tomb Guard, hitting on 3s. Everything hit.
Ouch, that's not what we'd like to see.
And I'm going to be...
Strength 6, no, 5.
Strength 5. 2s. And that is 3 cleaving blows.
Yep.
And then 5 at AP2 for halberds now, isn't it?
AP2, yes, on the turn that you charge. So we'll not be getting any armor saves against the halberds. We're getting 6 up regens, which we make none of. And so we don't get regens against cleaving blow. So that is 8 dead skeleton warriors.
4 attacks from the Royal Herald at weapon skill 5. So is that hitting on 2s?
That is hitting on 2s.
Rerolling for hatred. And he is going to be strength 4.
Okay, that is no wounds.
Okay, and then the Necrotect himself is weapon skill 4 with 3 attacks. Get hatred.
2 hits.
And strength 4.
No wounds. Right, I have 15 models that were able to fight before. You've killed 8 of them, so that's 7 left, which is 8 attacks thanks to the champion. Got the champion in black here, just in case it looks interesting. We're hitting on 5s thanks to that damnable artifact that you brought along in that, what is it called, a casket. So fortunately, it's not holding us back too much. Strength is 3 though, against toughness 4, so we're looking at 5s to wound. That is no wounding hits. This is not going to be good for me. So let's look at the scores. Final scores are 13 in favor of the Tomb Guard, 4 in favor of the skeletons. So we are going to crumble by 9. So, this whole rank and all the way down to here, leaving us with 7 guys left. Then we've got to go ahead and make our leadership check. Once again, we've got Arkhan nearby. We've just turned the camera off, so I'm just going to roll it in this space here. Oh, look at that. It's a double 1. So we'll head into turn 3, and we're halfway through the game, and I need to work out how I'm going to get out of this.
The Black Tower had stood abandoned for centuries, but Arkhan had now returned to it, gathering necromancers and the remnants of his master's dominion.
On my turn, Arkhan's in a dodgy position. He's stopping any zombies from being resurrected. We're going to resurrect some skeletons. I don't have the ability to resurrect anyone over here, which is sad. We have lost a Graveguard, so we'll try and get a Graveguard back up with a resurrection there. And we'll use our white here to try and restore some wounds to the skeleton chariots. Charging wise, we are going to throw the Wraith into the Scorpion to get some extra wounds. We are going to... I think that's going to be it, to be honest. Arkhan's going to sort of fly over here. The Necromancer's going to move up. They're going to sort of come around to threaten the back area there. And we're going to sort of abandon our line here a little bit. And we'll see how that goes for us. Cool. So first of all, James did point out that these are skirmishers, even though they were laid out like that. So I have charged forwards into those to make sure that they can't get a rear charge on my Graveguard. Graveguard have pivoted to go and deal with Settra. Arkhan has done a power slide around the tower, getting ready to fight the back line over there. This is about to crumble. This is about to crumble. I think the zombies are going to hold on. And for that, I gave Spirit Leech over to Settra. If I can win the combat, getting him down to leadership 8 from 10 could be pretty instrumental in seeing that he maybe has to fall back a bit. Shooting-wise, we've only got some spells. So we're going to fire a Doom Bolt across at the Wizard. And we're going to fire a Unquiet Spirits over at the Wizard. And that will be that. We're not going to fire an Unquiet Spirits. I marched. So it's just going to be a Doom Bolt over at the Wizard. And we failed it on a 7. So with this, we are looking at a pretty basic table. These skeleton warriors are going to die. This is going to continue to be a weird stalemate. This is going to have an opportunity for me to deal a wound. That's going to have an opportunity for me to deal wound, but probably going to be stalemates. So the only interesting combat is the zombies into Settra, or rather Settra into the zombies. But I don't think we're going to record that. It's just going to be a couple of dead zombies, and then does Settra fall back or not? We didn't win the combat with Settra, but we did lose a couple of guys. We've fallen back a tiny bit. Don't need that movement tray right now. We did lose all the skeletons. That was expected. The White King is still kicking around at the edge of the battlefield. He's going to come back, but it has allowed these chariots to set up a rear charge on the Arkhan. We want to combat over here, which is going to allow these skeleton archers to flank charge. We did win the combat over here and crumble the base to dust, which is useful. Lost the combat over here quite nastily. So we've got one chariot left on this flank. So this flank is about to collapse. The right-hand flank basically has collapsed. And my center rear guard has collapsed, which basically means the only players I've got left in the game that can do stuff is the Graveguard block and Arkhan the Black. Bearing in mind, though, that's still like 1,000 points. But I think it's going to swing in Settra's favor. So we'll head over to his turn 3.
The legions of Khemri marched into the cracked land where Settra intended to end Arkhan's claim once and for all.
Okay, so my plan for this turn is to charge with the chariots into the back of Arkhan to try and stop him from taking on the Casket of Souls and my High Priest. I'm also going to try and charge the skeletons into the side of the Tomb Banshee.
Nope, Kenwraith.
Khanwraith, because then I'll have the +1 rank for the combat res and a flank charge, which should hopefully crumble it, and then free up the monster to charge elsewhere. The Tomb Guard are going to charge into the side of the zombies, so then I've got the extra combat res and extra attacks going in. Hopefully with the next attack, I'll get the hatred off for rerolls there.
I don't think it's necessary even, but yeah.
Yeah. And then we're going to sort of finish that final skeleton off and hopefully then be able to reform to finish off this final Khanwraith. And then, assuming that combat goes well, Settra needs to overrun to get out of the Graveguard's charge range.
The way that we win right now is killing Settra and setting the Hierophant down.
Yes.
So, excellent.
Yeah.
Any spellcasting, my will be dones, etc.?
Yes, so we could do.
So across the phase, we got the charge in over there, we got the charge in over here, we got the charge in over there, we got the charge in over there. We discovered as well, we've been playing not Hexwraiths, Khanwraiths wrong. I thought they were like Hexwraiths and had great weapons. They don't. They've got some crazy weapon which doesn't allow armor saves and does D3 multiple wounds. So it would have been way better over here, and it would have been way worse over there. But having been good over there, it has resulted in the skeletons being able to get into the side, which will help them win that combat. So we're just going to leave that as it is. I think it probably all comes out in the wash. Over here, it probably would have been better for me. So, I did too well. I did not well enough over there. I've done too well over there. Too well over there is going to cost me. It probably doesn't matter in the scheme of things. So, fights-wise, that chariot's going to die. That's going to continue to go. The zombies are going to die. That Khanwraith is going to lose some wounds. And Arkhan is going to have a bit of a fight with those skeleton chariots. Impact hits.
Nice.
Oh, no.
And you are T5?
T6 with the Lich King's chariot. It's a nice one.
6s. Okay.
Ouch.
Weapon skill 3.
Weapon skill 4.
4's to hit.
Actually, I'm not weapon skill 4 because I got the big buff on weapon skill 7.
So 5's to hit.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
No.
Okay.
6 horses.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Right then. let's see what Arkhan can pull off. So we'll start with Arkhan himself. At 3 attacks at weapon skill 7 would be 3s. However, the fluffy little thingy-majigger,
Casket of Brilliance.
is it in range?
Yes, 18 inches.
So 4s to hit, that's 1 hit.
If your weapon skill 7, you'd be hitting on 3s.
-1 from the casket.
No, it's the double +1, isn't it? So you'd be hitting on 2s to then 3s.
Oh, you're right, I would be. So 2 hits. Thank you very much, James.
It's okay.
And then I'm strength 5, so that's a 3 to wound with the Tomb Blade of Arkhan. That is 1 wounding hit at -1.
So that is 5 up,
5 up, 6 up,
6 up ward,
and a 6 up regen.
3 rolled.
That dice needs to go in the bin. I don't care how much it costs you. So we have caused an unsaved wound with the Tomb Blade of Arkhan, so we do need to note that he is better at recovering wounds in future turns. We've got the 4 skeleton steeds. They have made 1 hit. Do they benefit from the +3? I imagine they would. So 3 hits and 5s to wound. No wounds though. The Manticore Yoke makes 1 attack with the Snapping Jaws. So this is weapon skill 4, so a weapon skill 7, that's a 3 to hit. Strength 6
with the -1.
That's with the -1.
Nice.
And then strength 6 rather. 1 attack then with the Lich King's Chariot Snapping Jaws. That's the Manticore on the yoke. So this is strength 6, wounding on 2 therefore. Try hitting it in the tray. That is a wounding hit at AP -1. This does have Killing Blow for future reference.
1 again. 2 this time, we're getting better. No.
Ah, you got back to it. Okay, so that's another wound done. So at the end of that combat, you've got a rear for 2 points.
A banner.
And a banner, but I've done 2 wounds. So I Indomitable 3. Quick leadership check. That's a 10, so I believe that's a failed leadership with Arkhan. So he crumbles again, Indomitable 3, and he falls back in good order. 3 inches.
Just enough to get the impact hits again.
But at the very least, we'll turn around this time.
So following up. Yes.
Easy squeezy lemon peasy. This is, as you remember. Actually, we didn't actually work out the combat resolution there. Let's do that really quick right now.
So you did no wounds to me.
You did. I did no wounds to you. You've got a flank and a rank. I've got 1 Indomitable, so we take 1 wound on the Cairn Wraith.
And infantry outnumber. Unit strength 10.
2 wounds on the Cairn Wraith then. And he fails his leadership check, so he completely crumbles due to the second crumble. So that's that side of the battlefield, and we sweep our way back across here. Surprising no one, the zombies have completely collapsed. Everything is posturing over here to fight the Graveguard, because even further over there, our last not Tomb Guard chariot, our last skeleton chariot did collapse. And so we're going to head into Legions of Nagash, turn 4.
As the battle turned against him, Arkhan came before Settra wearing a guise of surrender.
We can actually make a charge here to Settra. It requires a 6, and we end up corner to corner. Not super flavorful, but we might have to give it a go just to try and have a hope at winning. Fortunately, we do have the ability to give some extra movement to that unit, so we will try that out. But I expect that nasty, skulking little tomb priest over there, man, I don't have anything else to say, so I won't say it. He's going to try and probably dispel us, no doubt. Our White King over here will try and heal himself back up to full wounds, and we will see if we can start bringing him over this way to try and do something out to help out. We'll try and restore the missing Graveguard to this unit. So the unthinkable happened. We made the charge, and you can see what I mean by made the charge. You know, that's silly. That amount of contact is silly. That shouldn't be allowed. But there we go. Anyway,
Still a successful charge.
yes. Necromancer's hoofing it to the tower so we can get all the bonuses to cast and get the 300 points for controlling the tower. Arkhan's still in combat. He didn't have anyone to do anything with. This combat's still going, and our White King over here ran along the outskirts of the battlefield. He's going to try and come around and get involved over here. So we're into the fight phase now. We've got two important combats, the Arkhan combat, which I think is going to be won by him, and the Graveguard Settra combat, which is probably just in the Graveguard's favour, but not maybe enough for the Indomitable 3 to be overwhelmed. We're doing the Settra combat. We've got my Graveguard going first, however, due to the weapon skill difference, they are going to be hitting on 6s. Before all of that, though, my White Lord, he will only be hitting on 5s.
Nice.
So, White Lord hitting on 5s, makes one hit, strength 5 into toughness 5.
Yep.
No wound. Then we got the Graveguard. So, there's just the front rank, and there's only 4 of them on that rank that are in range to make the attack. No hits.
I will attack back. Weapon skill 8, so I'll be hitting on 2s. He has his reroll ones to hit spell. And strength 6. That's 4 at AP 3.
4 at AP 3 means 6s to regenerate. None. 4 dead Graveguard.
And then we have our horses that get 3 hits.
2 wounds. AP 0, so we've got 5 to armor save. And then we've got 6s to regenerate. 1 regenerate. So we've got
Combat res of 6.
you got a combat res of 6, but then I've got a close order, an outnumber, a banner, a battle standard, and 2 ranks. Tied combat.
I do get my impact hits.
2d3 impact hits.
4 impact hits. I need
6 is the wound.
Yes, we've got 1 wound.
4 up armor save. Is saved on a 6.
So I'm going to be initiative 6.
I'm initiative 3, so it's all your stuff first.
So I've got 5 attacks from
Cavalry spears.
hitting on 4s. Is it 4s or 5s?
I'm still. No, I haven't buffed my weapon skill this turn, have I? So I'm weapon skill 4, so it's 4s to hit.
Yep, 2 hits anyway. And then strength 4, so 6s. Nothing.
And then 4 horses, 4s to hit, 6s to wound, rather.
No.
Arkhan the Black gets his 3 attacks. That's 2 hits because of the -1 to be hit aura. And these are at strength 5, so 3s to wound. That'll be 2 wounding hits at -1 AP.
So 5s, 6s, and then 6 up regen. No, so
1 wound has gone through. And then we've got the 4 horses scoring 2 hits. And no wounds. And then we've got the Manticore head hitting on a 4. No hit. So I've got a net of 1 wound.
and I've got a
banner.
banner.
So a tied combat. So at the end of that turn, the Wraith didn't succeed at anything. This was a completely dud combat, as you saw. That combat went ever so slightly in Arkhan's favour in terms of wounds, but not in terms of victory. And God, I sound like ChatGPT there for a second. This went really great in one thing, but not in the other. Haha. And this White King has travelled along the side of the battlefield, fighting for hope, victory, but most of all, warrior spirit. There we go. I could be an AI too. It'll be into turn 4 for Settra and his forces then.
Arkhan bent the knee to preserve himself, waiting for the day his true master might rise again.
So this would be quite an easy turn. I don't need to worry about the casket because the light spell remains in play. So I need to do a leadership check on Settra to get his weapon skill up. And then the Necrotect. So hopefully I've got hatred for the extra damage on the Graveguard. Other than that, I need to get a rear charge with those 2 units on this Khan Wraith, so then we can get the combat res and hopefully crumble it out. Potentially might be able to do some resurrecting on the swarms as well. And I think that is everything I can do this turn.
What will be going on over there with those units?
Well, the skeletal archers, they could do a reform and potentially be in range to shoot the White King. And then I think he's too far out of range to charge, even with the fly 9. So I think I need to set myself up for a next turn charge, potentially bring him in to try and support against Arkhan.
I'm not happy with this, to be honest. Big rear charge over here, big fight over here. We've got a wizard off. That's staying as it is. This is as it is here. We just got some shooting to do there. We're going to get, on average, with what, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots. Probably going to get 2, maybe 3 hits, and then no wounding on 6s. So the king is probably safe. He's almost certainly not dead. After that, we got a lovely huge combat over here. And though the Arkhan combat is crucial, it's not really going in the Tomb King's direction there. It's just a steady slog. So we'll skip by that and catch up at the end. So your Tomb Guard are going to be fighting first over here. It's a healthy little sum of attacks because you've got the extra attack and you've got hatred, haven't you?
Yes.
So from the front rank, I think it's 9 dudes, or well, it's 4 dudes causing 9 attacks.
So I'm weapon skill 5.
Okay, I'm taking on 3s against the Graveguard.
Re-rolling from hatred.
Couple of re-rolls there.
These are the re-rolls.
Okay, dropped 1 die in total, so 8 hits.
Strength 5.
So that's 3s to wound because I am toughness 4.
So that is 2 cleaving blow and 4 at AP2.
So the 4 at AP2 are regenerating on 6s. So we've got 1 regen, and how many cleaving was it? 2?
2.
2, so we've got 5 Graveguard down.
So then I will go with my Royal Herald. So he's weapon skill 6. So
Yep.
He's hit on 3s. That's good that we've got hatred. And strength 4, force to wound. 1 wound at AP1.
6 up to save. 6 up to regenerate. Neither. So we have lost the full rank of 6.
Then the Necrotect. He will be hitting on 3s. That's another wound at AP1.
Not saved.
So yeah, strength 4.
Ouch. So that's another one gone.
And you'll be going with your great weapons. So Settra will get to go first. So he'll be hitting on 2s. No weapons to reroll, which is good because he didn't get his spell off.
Okay.
So that's 5 at AP3.
6 to regenerate. 1 successful regeneration, 4 more dead. So she pops some of the markers for the number of regenerations.
And then the horses. And then they're going to be wounding on 5s. 1 wound from the horses, no AP.
Regenerated. Well, that's very much not ideal. My White Lord is going to direct his attacks into the Tomb Herald.
Okay.
Weapon skill 4.
And with weapon skill 6.
So 5s to hit. Both hit. Now, he's strength 4, so we're looking at 4 to wound. We're hoping for a 6 killing blow. There is a killing blow. So have we got a ward save on him?
Yes, I do, from lighter protection. No.
And so he is dead. 2 attacks from the Seneschal, who'll go into the Tomb Guard unit. Hitting on 5s, it's 1 single hit. And then strength 6, so 2 to wound. I'm hoping for a 6 with a cleaving blow. No, that is an AP minus 2. So that is just going to be straight to your Warden regeneration.
Regen.
He's regened it, but I can effectively plink one of my regen combat res off for the calculation here. Even before we start looking at numbers and stuff, it's 13 in the favor of Settra. Then we're looking at 2 ranks, a banner, a close order, an outnumber.
You got 2 wounds from the Royal Herald.
2 wounds, 2 banners, and so it's 18 to 4. Even if I were to reduce that difference from 14 down to 11 by rolling with the banner, that is still... Actually, they might need to do the maths on that. So let's just... 2 of that is reduced by my banner. So that's 16. Calculate myself down to 12 wounds. 12 wounds. And that's 6, 7, 8, and loads of overkill. So they are completely crumbled to dust. So we lost the combat there by 1. We took a single wound on the Cairn Wraith. Big overruns over here, as we saw. The Necromancer drove the Lich Priest off and restrained successfully, so he's going to run to hide in Arkhan's tower. Arkhan the Black actually lost his combat. Didn't suffer any wounds because he's got a high Indomitable score, and he retreated back, so he's going to get impact hit again. And over here is as it was. No wounds were caused by the archers as expected. So
I was hoping the Tomb Guard were going to overrun into the combat so that I could kill the wizard, but they got the 3-inch and 1-inch short.
As James has pointed out, I've actually only killed 2 units. One of whom is the Battle Standard Bearer, but he's killed my Battle Standard Bearer, so that's basically a non-starter in terms of victory. So we have to recognize that in the lore, Arkhan the Black fights Settra many times. And many times he comes close to defeat and then supplants himself and supplicates himself before Settra the Imperishable so that he can last longer to scheme against Nagash. And this kind of feels like that moment. This feels like an appropriate time to go, please, almighty Settra, let us live. If not for us, you wouldn't have had chance to reclaim your golden, glorious empire. Forgive us, your exalted one. O mighty master of the dunes, will you please permit us to live?
Just this once.
There we are. You heard it here, folks. We have survived, and therefore Nagash is going to win. This is a win for the Legions of Nagash. Totally.
Settra's won easily.
I think Settra has quite clearly won. So well played, James. Thanks for coming down today.
That's okay. Good game.
And good game.
Thanks everyone for watching today. We've seen a powerful victory by Settra the Imperishable over Arkhan the Black, just as we expected to see from the lore. Surely, Arkhan the Black will remain loyal to his new master Settra the Imperishable and isn't harbouring any secret plans in favour of his old lord and liege, Nagash. Only time will tell. Once again, I would like to extend a great big thank you to our friend Tom Carley over at UK Resin Print for supporting the channel. UK Resin Print has got a wide range of highly detailed resin miniatures that he can print for you and send over to you if you pay him a little bit of cash. Head on over to the website that we've got linked in the description down below and check out his whole range, covering fantasy armies across the content of the Old World and many other fantasy rank and flank games. Heck, even skirmish-style games as well, including stuff for the Weird War that will help you out if you want to play games of Conflict 47, or perhaps even throw something on the table for a little bit of Trench Crusade. I haven't had a chance to look at everything in complete detail, so head over to see Tom at ukresinprint.co.uk and follow the link in the description below and get a real good look at what he's got available down there. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, James, for continuing to be a part of this channel and helping us with the Settra Awakens campaign. Keep an eye on the channel because we will see an increase in the variety of different campaigns that are on display for you all, so you don't get too bored of seeing nothing but Settra and James's 2 other Tomb Kings. We will see you in our next battle report on the 8th of August.